F1 teams burn 400 million a year and still lose every single race. Each car costs more than a mansion, and yet drivers drive them around the corner like they are disposable. From outside, it looks insane. No wins, no trophies, just endless money pit. But under the surface, F1 isn't just about racing. It's high-stakes business model with billions on the line. And once you have the knowledge how economics actually work, you will never watch another race the same way again. Let's go back a little. June 19, 2005, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Over 100,000 fans, clear skies, a huge moment for F1 in America, the US Grand Prix. Engines are revving, lights go off, and then total chaos. 7 cars dive into the pit before their first lap ends. Not for fuel or not for crash, but because their Michelin tires are shredding at high speed, especially on the infamous turn 13. It was dangerous, and teams like Toyota and Williams refused to race. Only the Bridgestone teams left, like Ferrari, Jordan and Minardi. 6 cars start the race and 3 finish. The fans, they are booing, curious, and some just walk out. Sponsors like Marlboro and Shell, they watch their logos just sit there. It was a PR nightmare, and it cost our sport $1 million just in one afternoon. But here's the twist. The F1, it didn't die. Teams brought back. The budgets grew bigger. Sponsors, they stayed. And the business, it just grew. Because behind the wrecks and the walkouts, F1 isn't just a sport. It's the money machine. The Formula One doesn't make the money the way you think. Sure, the cars are fast, the tickets are expensive, and the merch is everywhere. But in 2024, the Formula One revenue was $3.4 billion, and only the fraction of that came from fans like you. So, where does the real money comes from? Well, here is the surprising part. The race day isn't just the main event. The real business happens behind the scenes. And here is the breakdown. First, there's TV and streaming. 1.2 billion. Almost 33% of revenue came from broadcasters. Broadcasters like Sky Sports and ESPN pay massive fees just for the right to show the races. Why? Because since Netflix series Drive to Survive, their viewership in US alone has tripled. The Netflix series didn't make F1 more dramatic, it also made it more lucrative. Second, there's race fees. That is 1 billion, almost 29%. Here is the part that shocked me. Cities pay F1 to host the races, not the other way around. Cities like Las Vegas and Miami pay 20 to 60 million per race just to host. Why? Because the F1 weekend makes the cities into global spectacle. Third, there are sponsors. They pay around 650 million, almost 19%. They aren't just logos, they are brand deals worth billions of dollars. Heineken, Rolex and DHL are paying just to be the part of F1 image, that is precision, luxury and speed. And as long as F1 looks glamorous on camera, the sponsors keep coming. And then there's extras, that is 650 million, almost 19%. VIP paddock clubs, global merch, F1 TV subscriptions and licensing. So the question arises, if there's a lot of money coming from TV deals and race hosts, so why are the teams are still losing money? And how does F1 convince the sponsors to keep coming in spite of mid-season flops and bad races? We will get there, but first we are following the money straight through the team's garages. The first thing to understand is that not all F1 teams are treated equally, even though they race on the same track. But when the money gets handed out, some teams walked away with the feast while others scrape out the scraps. In 2024, F1 distributed 1.3 billion in prize money among 10 teams. Sounds fair, right? But here's the twist. It's not only based on performance. Bigger teams like Ferrari and McLaren just get extra money for being historic. It's called heritage bonus, and other teams are just paid for their existence. Here's the breakdown. McLaren got 133 million, Ferrari 124 million, Mercedes 107 million, and Kick Sauber just 58 million. So the question arises, if 100 million doesn't cover the entire season, and also the prize money is not distributed equally, so why all these 10 teams are spending like crazy just to stay on grid? Turns out they are not spending recklessly, it's strategic. Because F1, it's not about just winning trophies, you are investing in leverage. So let's look at what the actual numbers and what are they actually buying when they are blowing up 400 million a year. Here is the part that really blew my mind. Even the cheap teams in F1, they spend around 150 million a year. And the top teams, they spend 400 to 500 million a year. That's more than most pro sports teams spend around an entire year. So what are they buying? First, the car. Each car is hand-built with carbon fiber rocket, and every component is custom designed and engineered. Second, the engine. Most teams don't have them, they buy them. Haas pays around 50 million to Ferrari for their engines. Third, there's global freight. These cars and tools, they don't teleport. With 24 races occurring around the entire year, teams pay around tens of millions just for moving stuff around. Then there's staff. Mercedes has around 1,200 employees. And even small teams like Alfa Romeo, they have 300 to 400 employees. And lastly, the drivers. Rookies get paid around 500k for the starting salaries. And stars like Lewis Hamilton, they get around 55 million. Even with the budget cap introduced in 2021, that was about 135 million. But there is the kicker. Driver salary, engine development, marketing and other stuff, they are still uncapped. So bigger teams can spend any amount they want and no one can stop them. That raises a bigger question. If winning doesn't guarantee more prize money and spending more always doesn't guarantees winning, so how these F1 teams really are making money? Turns out the race is just the forefront. The real business happens in branding. So let's understand how logos are turned into wins and champagnes into contracts. Here is the paradox. Most teams don't even win, and the prize money is more stacked towards bigger brands. And costs are insane even with the price cap. So how these teams are turned into winners? Here is where the whole model flips. Because the races are unpredictable, but the branding is engineered to win. Sponsors are where the real money lives. They pay tens of millions of dollars just to slap their name on the cars. Oracle pays Red Bull 100 million a year. Smaller logos, they are between 1 million to 5 million depending on their locations. Even those helmet tickers, they have their price tags too. But sponsors, they don't just want exposure, they want access as well. And F1 provides them that by Paddock Club. It's basically a luxury lounge where $1 million deals happen over champagne and carbon fiber buses tour. Executives mingle on trackside, CEOs get their clients, and partnerships happen before lights are out. So for sponsor, that $15 million logo isn't just advertising, it's ticket to a deal-making machine. And here is the biggest riddle. Some teams don't even need to win. because the value they generate for their parent company or billion owner is bigger than any balance sheet. Whether it's R&D, marketing or research, F1 is the most expensive business card in the world. And yet, in recent years, some teams have started turning into a profit. So what's changed? Let's understand how these teams are making more profit and why they are more valuable. For years, F1 teams were money pits. Most teams ran at a loss and billionaires, they just wrote checks. And every team hoped that sponsors might stick around. But some things changed recently. Some teams are turning into profit and the numbers are wild. In 2023, Mercedes made 80 million in profit and Ferrari is valued at 4.78 billion. Williams Racing went from 180 million to 1.24 billion. That's 600% increase in just 3 years. So what's changed? These are the three bigger things. First, the budget cap. Every team has limit or cap to how much they can spend. So this squeezes out the waste and boosts the margin. Second, the Netflix effect. The Drive to Survive series brought millions new fans. The casuals, they become diehards. Sponsors saw the spikes and invested did too. The Liberty Media playbook. When the Liberty Media bought the F1 in 2017, they made it into a global entertainment brand. New races, bigger partnerships, better tech and louder marketing. In just 7 years, F1 is valued from 8 billion to 30 billion. So, and that momentum is still climbing. So here is the bottom line. F1 was just about speed, but now it's about leverage, license and long-term equity. Beneath those crashes, rivalries and champagne sprays, F1 is quietly becoming one of the most valued business in the world. So next time when you see that back marker falling last, just remember that they might have lost the race, but they are still cashing in. You just saw how F1 team loses money and still make millions. But here is the flip side. What if I told you if you are winning short term and losing long term? In my next video, I break down how apps like Affirm and Klarna are quietly messing with your brain and draining your wallet. Tap here to find out how instant gratification might be making you broke.